off and running, and it's recording. I want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight, and we're going to have fun. And let's see what we can find with this little blind squirrel. Find if you can find any nuts tonight. Disclaimer: trading involves the risk of loss of capital. Make sure that anything that you look at here, if you want to try it, I would try it with practice account, not with real money first, and you need to examine your own circumstances to determine whether it's useful or not. A little bit of background, if you don't know a little bit about me, I'm an ex-US Air Force fighter pilot with master's degrees in both computers and in business. I've been an active trader since 1998, a full-time trader since 2009, and I'm a technical trader, but I do use some limited fundamentals primarily to figure out which way we might be wanting to go, and I'll cover some of that while we're talking. I moderate for H&R Candlesticks from time to time and provide one-on-one mentoring, and you could go onto the website and you could find out all of the four of us that will provide mentoring for folks. Hello, Rickster, how are you doing? We've got two basic sides of hit and run candlesticks. One is the daily swing trading blog, and the swing trading side under hit and run candlesticks. We have right and way options on the right hand side here, and in the middle here we do have the LTA scanner, probably one of the best software programs that I've seen out there ever do the scanning, and at a reasonable price. Stick around for a special offer at the end of the presentation. Our agenda tonight: we're going to go over the economic calendar, earnings calendar, market overview, some trade ideas that I found here, and some long, some short, Q&A on some not stock specific stuff. Once we're done with that, I'll post the crosses there, and then after that you can list one per person, and we'll look at your stocks one per person, time permitting, and I'll have to cut people off at some point along the way. All right, economic reports for the week. We have nothing on Monday. S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index on Tuesday at 9. Consumer confidence is out at 10 on Tuesday. New home sales on Wednesday at 10, and obviously the weekly petroleum report at 10:30. Love to trade that one. Durable goods on Thursday at 8:30, along with GDP and jobless claims, and then pending home sales index out at 10. International trade goods and personal income outlays on Friday, and after the market opens, Chicago PMI and consumer sentiment. All right, let's move on. Ooh, I do apologize for this being slightly off the charts there. Let me. Yeah. Well, it wasn't off the charts on this one, but we'll see how that goes. I'll correct it afterwards and post it up again. But basically, we're still in the middle of earnings season, towards the back end, really. And a lot of retailers are going to start showing up, and there are quite a few out there, and I wasn't able to go over all of them into looking at the short interest or whatever yet. So let's move along. Let's go to the market overview. And let's see which one is that. Okay. All right. I'm going to start with oil. Oil is down. These are the futures. So we're live here. Been live since 6 p.m. And crude oil is down $1.60. I think we're going back into this these 50 to a little high 40s area for oil. Gold still marching higher. My stochastic RSI is pegged, but that's the strongest of the strong will do that. At some point, this one will come back down to earth, but right now, that's not the time. S&P futures down 1.25%, over 40 points. We're kind of approaching the areas. The first I thought we would try to hold was on Friday 33.25. And then we've got all of these volume and price levels. I don't know whether 3260 or 3250 are magnets. My stochastics RSI says that we're down here towards the bottom. We may have a day or two of this before it does some sort of a bounce or level off. But we could definitely get to 3260 and maybe even 3240 in the next day or so. Dow futures 28,600 was the level I had here from way over to the side, but now this 28,535 or so like that looks like it's in play. My stochastics RSI says we're ready for our bounce anytime now, so it could happen Monday or Tuesday. Nasdaq still has a ways to go, probably a couple of days. I think we're probably heading for at least the 9,200 area and maybe even 9,075. That'd be kind of a shock since they actually led us up here over the last couple of 3 weeks. Russell couldn't get to the highs. Toss expected move on SPX is 54 points. Okay, that's you're looking at that on Thinkorswim with measured move type stuff. Okay, so Russell, if we lose this 1650 level, man, 1635's in the cards real fast. Stochastics RSI does say that we still have a day or two to go on that one. Obviously, the VIX was a little bit elevated on Friday, and when we open up tomorrow morning, it probably is going to be even higher. Okay. Let us go back to the presentation. All right. First thing I want to caution is check earnings before trading. I think we've got a couple of them in here that do have tradings that are probably on this list. There are my stocks on the list. Let me pull this over to the side. Do this. Do this. Sorry, I was running. Let's edit the longs. That crashed. PBX, DRI, Kroger, Nectar, Pepsi, and Philip Morris. All right. In no order other than alphabetical, you see that most of the stuff I'm going to pick up here are going to be J-hooks with the stochastics RSI coming up off the bottom. Unfortunately, the market, we have to wait to the market. I am going to tell you that you don't necessarily have to have the market in your favor or with you to help, but it usually helps. A good 90 to 85% of the stocks will go in the direction of the market, but the strongest of the strong will prevail even though the markets are going down. I'll show you one in a second that did that for the last couple of days. We could get a flight to safety on some of the stocks like Colgate-Palmolive, CL. It is trying to come up off the bottom. Friday had a decent move, but we'll see how it does on the open. The one that kind of bucked the system, and I was in, was CTSH. Hopefully it continues to hold up nicely for Monday, and then when we finally get our bounce, it picks up some steam. DBX is on my list because it gapped up on earnings, has reasonably high short interest, I think about 7% or so, and I'm looking for a potential 45-degree runner. This could be one. Ones with earnings can possibly buck the overall trend. DRI was on the list. I'm not sure. I guess it was the bullish engulf coming up off the bottom. Probably without earnings and stuff like that, it's going to have some trouble, but it's on the watch list in case we actually get a turnaround. Kroger, nice move on Monday. On Friday, and looking for Monday, the possible breakout here above 30.50. Nectar, I'm looking for any move above 24 at a retest of these highs over here around the 27 to 28. When you see a gap up, now this was not on earnings, and we got earnings coming up on the 27th. So that might be the catalyst for it to break up over the 24. But these areas over here with high volume that are untested, they look to be retested. So I'm looking for that in some way, shape, or form. It may be on the earnings move. I might need to wait on that, but we'll see. Pepsi already had its earnings, did not move that much, but a little bit of a pullback. Potentially another safety move along with Philip Morris. Morris had a pretty decent move on Friday with the good stochastics RSI. And so if you can see here with these stocks, we got a little bit of a mixed bag. Some of them look really, really good given the bad market, and given a good market, I'd be jumping in with a couple of fistfuls of dollars there. But with the market the way it is, especially selling off overnight, I will be a little reluctant to go long until I see some change there. Okay, let's see if we can pick up the shorts. Move those symbols, save them. Import. Okay. All right. Alphabetical order. Bed Bath & Beyond. I know reports this week. At least it was on my list of reporting this week. Let me go look at the earnings. Or was that Best Buy? It was in Best Buy. BBY. Okay, so I'm looking for, it's already had the bounce. I'm looking for the rollover here. It may take a day or so or start tomorrow. And kind of a retest of these lows around the $11.50 level. Triple M, looking for a potential failure here and a move down here to the $150 area. Would really be nice if we got a level off or a little bit of a bounce first and then down. I think with the way the markets are, this may open up down and, not give us much of an entry. OIH, it looks like a short here on about a 9 or 12 month scale here. It does look like the oil holders services are going lower, but this would probably happen with it would probably either have to be a short-term intraday trade for me or a longer-term trend trade. But because of the lower price, the options are probably not all that great. I'd have to look at that. Pinterest gapped up on earnings and then really couldn't hold it. Looks like it wants to roll over. If it gets below about the 2175 or so level, I think we go back into the 20s and teens. Skechers Skechers after earnings gapped way up and trapped a whole bunch of people, and now it's failing. On Friday went below 37.50. Looks like the 200 is in play here. Would really love to get a bounce up to this $38 level and then a rollover. So I'll be watching for that. Even though SOXS looks like it's going higher, this is a short because it's the short ETF semiconductors. To me, it looks like it wants to retest the 2030 level, 2035. UPS, let me go back over to a 6-month chart there. Man, you know, we break through the 102 level or whatever, Katie bar the door. We could get $1, let's see, 224. So it's got a dividend of $1 and a penny. Tomorrow that'll increase the downward move on it. So be careful about jumping in. Make sure you get a good entry, a risk reward. This one may take a couple of days to get a bounce back up to the 102 before you can enter. And Zscaler, you can see here, I believe that we're probably heading down to the $47, $75, $48 level. And that looks to be in the cards. Would love to be able to get a level off or a dead cat bounce and then a rollover. Don't know if it's going to cooperate or not. Okay, let's go back to our charts. I set some goals before the year started. I want to do, you know, I'm about 6-7 weeks into the markets. I want to do a self-evaluation about how well I'm doing and what I can do better. My number one was to be patient and let the trades come to me and let the trades work and not sell too early. I've done a pretty decent job on letting the trades come to me because I have not been in many. I have pulled the trigger on a few, like CTSH, even though the market was not the best, and I was with CTSH, and I'm going to bring that up. I want to show you that I jumped in. I'll take the Hikenashi off. I jumped in over here around the 69.60 level using options, of course. I'm going to go to the hourly chart and show you that it gapped down on Friday and it was slightly underwater, but I had my stop in around 67.80-ish or so. Since then, I'm basically raising my stop little by little as the hourly chart gets a little improvement there. So what have I done? I'm still looking for 70.60 to 71.50 area. I didn't sell too early, but the possibility is that even though if it gaps down, I could have sold too late. So we'll see. I did take partial profits on a couple of my trades this week. What was I in? I was in Signet. And looking at the hourly chart, looks like it did well. I got in here on the move up above 26.80. I took partial profits, and then I didn't like what I was seeing in it on Friday, so I sold 35% there, and CTSH I took half off the table, about 50%. Where Signet was 50% and the other's 35%. Anyway, be that as it may, looking at my goals, so far step one, doing pretty well. Have a full trade plan before entering, identifying targets, risk, reward, and following my rules. Probably give myself a B plus A minus on that one. I did jump in CTSH at the end of the day on Thursday, and it did well. And then following the rules or letting the things work for me, that also is done pretty well. Right. Dedicate each week for trading research, education, and analyze each trade to eliminate mistakes. I'll probably give myself a B minus C plus because I haven't spent as much time as I ought to doing the research and education. So I'm going to have to put some concerted effort into that and to eliminate mistakes or the other thing is to repeat those things that you've done well. Anyway, that's how I'm doing. I hope you guys are doing similar things and you have goals set for the year. Notice there's no number or percentage there, but it's basically, I want to, the numbers will take care of themselves if I can do all of these well. All right, I did say that if you stuck around here, we'd have an offer you probably should not refuse. If you have not ever signed up for either hit and run candlesticks or right way options, we have a 60-day, 2-month offer for 49 bucks. That's $25 a month. You can't beat it with a stick. I think we have some of the best traders out here and the best trade ideas, of which some of them are, go to cash and sit on your hands. Doug Campbell is probably the best options trader that I've ever met or know of. And Rick is darn good himself. So come on down and give it a try. If you want to follow me, I am on StockTwits at Top Gun Trading, and on YouTube. I will post the recording of this video out on YouTube. You may want to go to that as well and check out some of the other stuff. Hey, Scott, welcome. Anyway, YouTube, I have a bunch of videos that go back a number of years, but they're all good. I try to, some of my specialties that I've got out there that you may want to search for on there are trading gaps and trading earnings. All right, I'm going to open up right now for just general questions, okay? Anything that you've seen or heard tonight that you have a question about. Not a stock-specific question. We're going to do that in a little bit, not now. All right, Lauren, welcome and glad to have you there. Okay. Malcolm wants to know, do I think that the reaction tonight has legs or just a knee-jerk reaction? Both. I believe we're overdoing. Let me say it. The IMF came out and revised downward upward their impact of the coronavirus in the stock markets and the growth of the economies. And my take is, I go back and look at what the markets did around the MERS and the SARS pandemics, and we did take a short-term hit, but the longer-term effect was negligible. So could we take a short-term hit? Yeah. Probably have and probably still are doing, and we're going to get these what you call knee-jerk reactions. We're going to get, especially if we're vulnerable because we're extended, we're going to get the possibility of these shocks to happen. Look what we did back in September. Look what we did back in December. We had a couple of 3 days where we went down 1 to 3%. Now, this one, because we're coming off the highs here, I'm really thinking we're going to get a pretty deep, scary pullback. And those that were too overly long and overly invested are going to take some pain. All right. Scott, I really don't know. All I remember, and looking back, I don't remember the specifics, but what I did do is I went back and looked at, let's look at spiders. Well, let's just look at the SPX. And let's look at an area chart, and I'm going to go from a weekly, I'm going to go to a monthly chart, and this is back in '01, this is back in 2008, 9. You know, when was the, I know I looked at it a week or so ago. When did we have the SARS and MERS epidemics? Do you remember '04? Do you see any blips here at '04? Okay, we got a little dip here of about 3%, and a little dip there of about another 3%. You know, that kind of tells me that, you know, we really didn't get it. It took the housing crisis crunched, and that was pretty significant. We did get some crunches here in late 15 and early 16, and then again, obviously, in late 18. November 2002. Okay, I'll go back and look at that. Well, November 2002, we didn't have an effect. We were already coming out of the year 2000. So, thanks to the 2003 again, those were the beginning. That was the bottom. Mid to late 2002 to early 2003, those were the bottoms in the market. That just seems to, March '03, I was wrong when I said it. Okay, no problem, Rickster. But regardless, the WHO was always a little slow. They don't want to overreact. The WHO also told people not to overdo it, to panic and blow it out of proportion. Most of the people that I've seen, although a couple lately have not fallen into this category, there are people that are over 60 years old and had prior existing conditions that, you know, respiratory problems or whatever. But be that as it may, I don't want to beat this one to death. Okay. I do know that Lauren asked a question that I'm going to go back to. You said, why am I using, I got to make this back on weekly, hold on, or I'll forget to put it there. Why am I using TC 2000 to go over the charts as opposed, Thinkorswim as opposed to TC 2000 on the charts? Well, you can see here that I have the volume at price levels, and I've got also the marked up levels. I take the futures and use them because we're at night, and the only thing trading right now is the futures, so I can't use the live charts. But these are all live. The other thing is the volume at price levels. These are levels at which a lot of trades occurred at this. Well, let's zoom into the last 3 months. Around 32, 35. That could be where we're heading towards. And I look at these volume levels and see if there are bottoms or tops around those. And that's where we tend to try to go to. All right, and the 3-month maximum volume level was around 32.40. I could see that being hit maybe if we zigzag. We never go in a straight line, although you could get some really long straight lines to the downside. We normally take the short baby steps up and take the elevator shaft downwards, and that's kind of what we're doing at the moment. Now, why do I look at these on not on TC2000. I use the same criteria here. It's just a lot easier for me to manage those, but it's really a preference. I use the TC2000 to help with managing watch lists. Occasionally after hours I'll use it to scan. During the trading day I'll use the LTA scanner to help come up with stuff and with things that are pointed out in the room by either moderator or other traders. And yeah, so I like TC2000, but its strength is scanning, which I use after hours and on weekends, and watch list management. And then when I'll take the watch list management here, I will then copy them over, as you saw, to Thinkorswim, and then that's where I watch and manage the watch list and watch the charts live. Hope that helps, Lauren. Okay, let me make sure I didn't. Okay. I talked to Scott. Rick T's talking about Baba. Baba does look like on Friday it sold off quite substantially. After it gapped up here and on its earnings, it kind of had a mixed reaction. But the stochastics RSI, which to me I use to judge momentum, it's been getting weak for quite some time. And you want to talk about LK, is it? I traded LK long a couple of times. I traded LK long over here, sold way too early when it got to this halfway point. I got a recommendation for trade LK, but I passed up because we were in a downtrend and I want to see this one, you know, make a higher low. And it kind of did this here, but we've only just really broken a downtrend again. Let's see. Hopefully, smell like a fruit overload, sorry. Okay. Which scan did I find SIG from? CL was the same scan, I'm guessing. Yep, let me, from TC2000, I have a scan here that I found. Let's see, CTSH was this pullback and then a curl back up. Let me see if I can get this right here. I'm going to edit it. Let's do this. All right, that's a copy. Let me explain this right now real quick. AB820, in fact, I've got this. If you give me a second, I think I have it. Let's get over here. Desktop, trading. Come on, TC2000. Got to get over to stock scans, PCFs, 2-bar high, trending up. All right, I got it in a notepad here. I'm going to I'm going to see, can I actually post this in the room here? All right, we'll try that and see if it, oh, no, I didn't select it. All Alright, this is in text mode. And I'm waiting for it to read it. Wait. Come on. You silly bugger. Okay, there we go. Open. Alright. So if I posted that out there, that's my J-hook scan. And it looks for stocks that have done a run up, a pullback, and that are curling back up. Okay, sorry about that. That's where I got it. What are the horizontal green bars on Thinkorswim? Okay. Oh, let me explain real quick. AB 820. That means that the price is above the 8, which is also above the 20. The 8 is an exponential. The 20 is obviously 20 simple. And then AB 83450 is the stock price is above the 8 exponential. The 8 exponential is above the 34 exponential, and the 34 exponential is above the 50. So basically we have a longer term uptrend and a short term uptrend. We have had 2 days of higher lows, lower highs, that is, and then we've got a reversal up today, up over yesterday's open and close, so it's the highest of either the open or the close from yesterday. I look at volume, and I look at average to range to filter out stocks that just don't move. All right. And let's look at the green bars. Are you talking about these? That's the volume at price. Let me go to the studies, edit studies, volume profile they call it. I'll edit that, and it's the point of control that I'm looking at, which would be that red line. And profile high and low basically don't show the plots whatsoever, but what you're doing is you're setting the row height to be automatic, custom row height, chart, multiplier, don't worry about that. The one that you have to do when you put this in is on expansion is defaulted to yes, which will overlap. So we will actually allow, put all these bars off to the right and not overlap them. I want them to be overlapped so that I can actually read them and find out what levels they are. So the answer is no for on expansion. And I use value area and opacity. The key here is you've got to make it opaque enough that you can actually see through the darn stuff. So you got to play around with those numbers. Stella, I'm going to be posting the entire set of charts here as soon as we're done. What are some of the things you'll be looking at and say it's time to buy the dip? We're going to get the J hooks. We're going to show, just more of those. I mean, I'm a broken record. Breakouts when you're at all-time highs are not the thing to be done, but there'll be breakouts that will occur here. I do like to play stuff after earnings, so when I do an earnings play, it's after the release, not before. I'm not trying to guess. Thanks, Malcolm. And beta 20 sharing is very simple now. Okay, no videos yet. Thanks, Terry. I did not have any opportunity to go. They actually didn't have 20 available when they came locally here. I'll have to wait till November. They'll definitely have it out. It looks pretty good from what I'm seeing. They're actually starting to pour some money back into the development of the software program rather than just their brokerage stuff, which was, to me, garbage. I don't recommend it at all. Yeah, the sit-on hands might be best, Malcolm. Yep, does the LCA scanner for that? Yes, Scott. They do have the J-hook scanner. I use it during market hours. Do I offer a subscription service? No. The subscription services are from Hit and Run Candlesticks and Right Way Options. I used to have one, but we didn't have enough people really sign up, to be honest with you. I was a bit disappointed. We had, 8 or 9 people, but it really doesn't pay off with just that. Try here, 60-day 2-month offer, $49, basically $25 a month. You can sign up for either Hit and Run Candlesticks or Right Way Options. I am in the Right Way Options room most of the time, although from time to time I will be in the Hit and Run Candlesticks room. Okay, let's see. I think I got all the questions. It's 8:48. We're doing okay for time. All right, what I'm going to do here, please display those. All right. Lee, let me do that while the other people are frantically posting their stocks. This is the Stochastics RSI, Lee, for when I see a stock curling up from the bottom and the price also curling from the bottom, and we got a little breakout here. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to try to find that scan to the bottom. So what I'm looking at is crossing up from below 33-ish or so, just maybe 20. There's no hard and fast number, but it's a way to try to visualize it. Let me go to personal. I'm going to do the high volume options. Another thing that we post every month. And here's Duke, says it's doing that. Guild, almost made my list, but it's too close to $70 there. Kaching, Change Health. See, some of them don't quite make it. General Dynamics looks like it's curling up from the bottom. And then let's look at the ones that are actually going down. And I'll just see what we got going here. And I have none of them that are up at the top going down. Let's look here. AIG. AIG might have been a good short on Friday. Probably not now. HPE needs a bounce. The stochastics RSIs are just not cooperating. Let's do here. Let's look at things like, now Bud's got earnings coming up, and then I'll be looking here at something like ESTC, where it's bounced up here, hit a resistance level of 75, and it looks like it might want to try to roll over. I think let's look at MMM. You see how when it got over here, it did this dead cat bounce rally, got up here to this 165 level the second time. This second move up here probably shook out a lot of the shorts, because a lot of people probably would short this one when on this gap down, and they probably got stopped out. But the second time down, the moving averages are definitely come into play and showing that it had definitely rolled over. All right, let's go to Roku. Another thing I like about TC2000 over Thinkorswim is if I want to zoom out or zoom in, all I have to do is use the scroll on the mouse, and it works really well. I don't have to reset the parameters. Yeah, below 118 Roku could work. I would sure like to get a little bit of a bounce in it first, though. Oh, you're already in it? Well, good. Stay in it. And hopefully you get a good, nice dip tomorrow. Again, gaps are gifts. Be sure you take a little bit off the table at least. Okay. Rick Law says, can I do a trial for hit and run candlesticks and then later do one for right way options? Absolutely, they're separate. Bob S. wants to look at Under Armour. Ooh, Under Armour. I definitely want to bounce first. Yeah, because, you know, we've already had a significant move lower. The best short was around 15. The other problem is I don't really like shorting stocks under about $20 to $25. They normally don't move enough. So you've got to get enough money in it. I'm restricted in a lot of cases of using options because of most of my money's in the retirement accounts. It's protected there. So I can't short stocks directly. And in fact, most of the time, I'm just trading options here right now, and regardless long or short. And Jamal wants to look at Pfizer. Wow. Now you see right here, Pfizer, when it, let me get the screen draw pencil. See, we had this nice move down and a bounce up. And where did it bounce up to? This 38.75 level. And then rolled over. Somewhere in this area, that was the perfect short. And it moved from about 38 to 36. That's a couple of dollars. And again, it's a drug manufacturer, but with an options leverage, you could have probably made it pretty decent money on the short. Right now, man, it's probably extended. If you notice right here, my stochastics RSI says it's oversold. Doesn't mean that it can't go lower, but it's already had a significant move lower. What I normally want to do is I want to try to find it when it's done a bounce. And usually when the stochastics RSI gets up here and then rolls over. Or at least the price goes up and then it rolls over. Well, that's what I'm usually looking for. Roger A. One stock, I'm going to take CRPI. You corrected. Sorry. My bad. CRPI? No. CRPI doesn't come up here. Is it a very new stock or something? Double check it, Roger, and post it again, please. JP Morgan short. Yeah, below 135. It probably hits 132.5. Would have liked to have seen a little bit more of a bounce, but yes. Snap. James, take that. Well, this is perfect here for a short on Snap. I actually went short Snap and then already covered too early. That was one of that I did. We had this down move. I believe that was on earnings. It did a bounce. Where did it bounce up to? It bounced up to about the $18 level. Then it started rolling over. It's a slow mover. Why? Partly because it only moves about 75 cents a day. That is 5%, but it's only 75 cents. That's why I like to get the more expensive stocks, because they'll move more in dollar amounts. Now, the options are pretty cheap, and they believe they're at least a nickel apart, if not pennies apart. So you could probably do something like that. Now, this one's in kind of no man's land. It needs to break out above 18 or down below 16, in my opinion. All right, Crocs. I think Crocs reports earnings here pretty soon. Yeah, 227. That's Thursday. Now, that could be Thursday after the bell or before the market. I don't know which. I'd have to go to my earnings chart. But there have been multiple opportunities to go short with Crocs. Could this be one of them ahead of earnings? Below 36? Possible. You got a lot of congestion over here to the left. Let's look at Crocs. We'll find out that. Another reason I like to use Thinkorswim, Lauren, is that I've got the earnings depicted there, dividends before the market on the 27th, so that's Thursday before the market. Yeah, let's go to a 6-month chart. Yep, we're coming up on the heavy traded period, so there might be some people that start to nibble if this gets down to this $34.50 to $34 level and starts a bounce of any sort. Okay, so I'd want to see a bounce first and get up towards the magenta line here, which is the 17, the exponential. Gilt had a large increase, and IB expecting a big move one way or the other. Yep, I think it also reports. No, 5.7. So he just did that. Get my fingers going. Yeah, I did that back over here. So that's probably still the offshoot. The other problem with something like Gilead is that it's a drug company. And as I always tell people, I don't do drugs. Okay. All right, let's cut these off right now. Jonathan wants to look at Coca-Cola. Again, defensive stock. It's had a pretty good run for the last couple of months this year so far. Could it have some more legs? It's possible. You would be playing a breakout. The breakout is occurring with stochastics RSI coming up from the bottom, so possibly along. I did have Pepsi coming up off the bottom here. It reports in April, so reporting is not going to be a big deal. Rick, already short. Yeah, thanks, Ed. Appreciate it. Rick, you want to talk on the telephone to someone? Well, I think so. Especially if you send out an email, I am not going to make any guarantees because everybody is busy. Maybe if you PM me, send me a private message and tell me what it is you want to speak about, I could possibly answer it and take it this week for you. Dolores wants to look at Medtronic. Yeah, Medtronic's kind of rolled over. You did not mention whether you were long or short. We are at kind of a congestion area if we look at the weekly chart. Yeah, 110, 111. It looks like it may want to try to bounce. You notice on the weekly, there's a 3-day chart. It's down at the bottom. And it is weak. We have weak balance of power. But it is trying to hold there right at the 100 period moving average. Kind of interesting. Rickster, just count your lucky stars if you got the long. I have no idea. I really don't think that gold, and let's look at the area chart. It would have said 1550, maybe $1,700. Oh, thanks, Ed. Appreciate it. This thing is parabolic. In me, there's no way. I can't even use fib projections here. I guess I could. Let me try one. We did the bottom here to the move up here, and then the move from the bottom to the top. We passed it. It was 151. Yeah, so for all intents and purposes, this is gone much farther than anything could have been predicted, to be honest with you. Now, let me try a weekly. Yeah, I can see where the bottom is here. I can see where the top is there. Let's see. $162, $165, and overnight we're at $166. So we could be there. Don't know. George, let's look at Regeneron short. Let's look at the daily. Why are you looking at Regeneron short there, George? Oh, long. Sorry. I saw the short from Dolores. My brain flipped there. Yeah. Not bad. And that may be on a... that could possibly be one that would be on its own. Sure looks that way. But I sure would... If I go long on it or something like that, I'm definitely going to sell it the first sign of weakness. Shoot first and ask questions later. Oh, Garth, I'm sorry. ENPH long. Well, ENPH is one of those that did kind of a 45-degree runner here, or is attempting to do that. 7.9 million. It's not going to be for the faint of heart, moving 5.5% a day, $3.30. Most of it's really this last gap up. To be honest with you, if I were thinking about this one, I'd put it on my watch list and be patient. And hopefully what will happen is that the markets will pull it back here towards this 50 level, which would be somewhere around halfway between those two, about a 50% retracement, and it'll curl back up. Rick, make sure you look in your spam folder. Okay. All right, folks. Thank you very much for Bob. You're gonna get the last one. TAL. Yeah, TAL could do a breakout over about 60, but it would really be nice to have the markets helping. But it does look decent. If the in an average to decent market, I could say yes. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and I'm going to start to render it. I'll post it up later this evening. And by all means, folks, strongly consider, if you've never done it, come over to the room and give us a shot. I think you'll like it. If anybody had any questions that I missed, go ahead and post them here, and I will try to answer them before we leave. Aloha.